there, Alex here. After experimenting with modular earbuds, Smobet has now implemented the same idea on a pair of IEMs, the Proto 1.0. So let's take a closer look at these and see if they're any good. In terms of packaging and accessories, they come in a simple box with a nice set of accessories, 3 extra pairs of tuning dampers, 3 pairs of ear tips in different sizes, a pair of tweezers, and a nice carrying pouch. The cable looks and feels great and is easy to work with as well. The metal shell feels solid and premium, and it has a somewhat unique shape. So even though it looks like it could be used cable down, it only works for me when using it over the ear. They have a pretty relaxed fit, so noise isolation is just okay, but they are extremely comfortable to use for me. Moving on to sound quality, I'm just going to start by talking about how they sound out of the box before I talk about the customization options. By default, it's using the gold damper, which has a balanced tuning with a nice amount of elevation in the bass, mids and highs. There is a nice amount of bass here, and it extends fairly well too. It's also tight, textured and well controlled. It does warm up the lower mids a tiny bit, but not excessively so. It's just enough to give male vocals a fuller body. Mids have a nice presence in the mix, and there is enough elevation in the upper mids and treble region to make everything sound more natural without being shouty or sibilant. It's not the most airy sounding, but there is a nice amount of body in this region, which I like. Soundstage, separation, detail retrieval are all pretty good as well, and it has a really enjoyable tonality and natural sounding timbre, so in case you couldn't tell, I really like how they sound here. It's a versatile tuning that I think works well with most genres. So in terms of how the dampers affect the sound, let's start with the blue damper, which is for the nozzle, and that reduces the upper mids and treble by quite a bit. The silver and red dampers are for the port beside the nozzle, which affects mostly the lower frequencies. The silver damper decreases the bass to a more neutral level, so it reduces the warmth in the lower mids as well. The red damper on the other hand increases the bass over the stock damper, which makes it warmer sounding. I think it also increases the upper mids region a tiny bit, but it's not really that noticeable because of the increase in bass. The next option for customization would be changing the drivers. With the connector that Smobet is using, it makes it so much easier to swap drivers for folks who don't want to mess around with a soldering iron. It comes with a 10mm titanium plated driver, but there is also a beryllium plated driver, domed LCP driver, as well as a fiber membrane driver. Those drivers are sold separately, of course. I'm not sure about the first two, but I do have the fiber membrane driver. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of this driver. It has more bass compared to the stock driver and is warmer sounding overall, so I would only use them with the silver dampers because it would be too warm sounding otherwise. I think that the upper mids do sound a bit fuller and smoother here, which is nice, but the driver seems a bit slower overall. This will be down to your personal preference, but for me, I prefer the stock configuration. Overall, it's pretty easy for me to recommend the Proto 1.0 to most people. Even if your preference isn't exactly like mine, you could just tweak it with the included tuning options. They do have their limitations in terms of driver setup, but I think they sound great for something that costs just around $80 US. Color me impressed. Thanks for watching this video, and see you guys on the next one.